Yo dudes, what's up? It's gonna be a short video. I always say that, don't I? It should be short though, you know? I just want to share something with you guys. As you all know, weapons education's coming this week, and we're gonna go to Cabela's. And I do have a very special 1911 in mind, and I just gotta hope to God and pray they have it. If they don't, there's something else I have in mind. But I would really like to leave with a gun, because it is a far ride. And when you go up there, like I said, it's like when you go to Cabela's and you leave without a gun, it's like, you know, going to McDonald's and ordering a Big Mac, large Coke with no fries, you know, because that's their thing, their fries, you know what I mean? Anyway, take it from a fat man, Wendy's fries got a whole lot better. I don't know what the hell they did to them, but they're good. Anyway, still like Mickey D's the best. I want to share something with you with this Glock 23 or any Glock. Now, the Glock 23 so far has 100 rounds through it, out of the box, not cleaned. Okay? It was cleaned in between 50 rounds because I'm a nut. I like to clean my guns, but you know, guys, you don't have to clean them. Every couple hundred rounds you can clean a Glock, but I clean mine every 50. Or when I go to the range, when I come home, I clean it. So minimum goes through it is 50, and it gets cleaned. But now, I made a fucking boo-boo. When I put my 3.5 pound connector in there, which makes the trigger pull a little bit lighter than 5.5 pounds, I bumped the spring a little bit. So the gun, this has nothing to do with Generation 4 Glocks. I don't think it has a problem, because it don't. It was something I did. So when I make a mistake, I want to show you guys the mistake I made so you guys don't make it, because it'll drive you nuts if you don't know what's going on inside internally in the pistol. So, I racked the slide. I noticed it on the video. I didn't even realize it happened. I racked the slide, and I noticed the trigger. I was checking the chamber when I racked the slide, and I noticed the trigger when the slide went forward. I noticed the trigger didn't go forward; it stayed in the rear. Now I heard I heard of this happening to, you know, I've been on YouTube now for 2 years, and I get a ton of PMs on. And if there's problems with Glocks, this is one that I get often. Dude, the trigger didn't go forward, and I never had an answer for them. You know what I mean? But I looked into it and did a little thorough investigation, and I found out why that happens. It's really crazy. It's the trigger spring. Now, if you cock the slide and your trigger don't go forward, it's either your trigger spring is broke, or your trigger spring came unhooked, or your trigger spring is not dead center. Now, I don't know how I can show you this, because I'm not taking the trigger spring out. Okay, I already fixed it. It's fine now. The gun's perfect. But what I did was, when I was putting that 3.5 connector in there, and I was putting the stuff back in, my finger, or the way I was pushing down on it, must have hit the trigger spring and slid it to the left. If the trigger spring is to the right or to the left, your gun may work, but if it doesn't work at times, it's because the trigger spring is not dead center. Now what I did was, to try to make you understand how this works, is I made a model of the trigger spring on a bigger scale. Now don't get, you know, it's a stupid looking model. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what it looks like, okay? Whew. Man, getting lightheaded today. Anyway, if you have one of these Glock pads that shows you the exploded view, here is your trigger spring. Let me see something. Okay, that's the first time using this feature. Alright. Okay. Here's your trigger spring. I don't know if you can see that. It's right here. It's right here. Now the trigger spring, I could take the slide off and show you this too. Let me get back again now. The trigger spring is under the cross. They call it the cross. I don't know if they call it the cross, but it looks like a cross to me. So this is loaded, so alright, pull the trigger. Now, as you know, I got the extended takedown tabs from Glockmeister, which is the best Glock parts around, I think. How easy it is, comes right off. I usually have problems doing that, because, you know, homo hands. Okay, it's not on the slide. Now here's a thing here. See this part? See how it looks like a cross? It comes down and it's a cross. Under the cross, there's a spring. It travels under the cross and it loops around and hooks on the front in the bottom. I can't show it to you. The trigger spring is right there. I'm looking at it. It's hooked there, and it goes under the cross, dead center, and then hooks in the bottom. So mine was to the side. So when I racked the slide like that, this was staying back here. And it didn't do it all the time. It was doing intermittently, and then it was doing it all the time. It was stuck. I was like, what the hell? So I looked into it, and I found out what the problem was. So if you're ever having this problem, this video might help you. So let's put this back on, and I'll show you. See how nice the Gen 4 slides go back on now? Remember when they first came out, they had a hard time putting them on? Trigger's going forward again. Okay, and remember, so far I have 100 rounds through this, and it has 0 failures, 0. So I carry this now. That's enough to convince me. Okay, forget all that. I made this stupid thing to show you what's going on. Okay, this is the trigger spring. This is the part that the trigger spring hooks into. Okay, so I just got this little cylinder here, and I put a little bungee cord on there to act like the spring. So pretend the hooks are correct. So pretend the bungee cord is a spring coming all the way down. It's not a bungee cord, it's a spring. So when you're looking at the gun, this is under it, like this. Okay? Here's the cross. Okay? Now, this is hooked on here in the center. Now on mine, see how the other side is dead center? Mine, it was like this. Okay? It was on the center here, and it was coming up on the side, and it was on the side like that. So what I did was, when I was putting the connector in, I might have hit it to the side a little, and then when then it got worse and worse and worse, and then my trigger wasn't working anymore. That'll cause your trigger not to work. So what I had to do is I had to get one of these. If you don't have a set of these and you have guns, you need to get a set. Try to get polymer ones though. I got a pick, and what I did was I reached down with the pick, and I grabbed it and I wrapped it down around the bottom and centered it again and put it in its little notch. There should be a little notch down there so it doesn't keep coming out. And then it was in the center. So you're looking at it like this. Okay, this is upside down, but when it's in the gun, it's going to look like this, and you got to make sure it's directly center under the bottom. It's got to be directly in the center under the bottom. It can't be like this. It can't be like that. I mean, it can't be like that. It has to be dead center, or your trigger will not work. I know, but that's the best way I can explain it. So this is just a quick little Glock tip video, and if I bet you maybe a couple of you guys are having this problem right now, and this will fix it. Hope it helped you. Alright, see you soon.